Salutations, my Fallout lovers, it is Matty here today, bringing you an incredibly important Fallout 4 news update, one you should probably share with all the Fallout lovers out there. Anyways, before anything, be sure to check out the link in the description to my previous video. I had a slur there, but I recovered well, didn't I not? Anyways, that previous video is this week's Ham Radio podcast, the best one yet, featuring the one and only Alchest Breach. He is so awesome and down to earth, and we had a huge discussion about all the Fallout 4 news that came out last week, along with speed runs and the evil within, everything Bethesda as always. So be sure to check that out if you have the time to. Anyways, important Fallout news, did I say? Yes. So this all started off with a tweet from my boy Kyle. He tagged me in this post here saying that a gameplay designer from Bungie left and joined Bethesda Game Studios. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, when I looked into this a little bit, it turned out that this guy who left Bungie to join Bethesda turned out to be someone who was primarily focused on multiplayer design for both Destiny and Halo Reach. He was there for 6 years. So you get where I'm getting at, Fallout fans, you understand. So that's why it's a bit worrisome. Following that up with a little post on a website called examiner.com, they mentioned that as gamers are hoping to see Fallout 4 announced during this year's E3 event, it seems that Bethesda has basically confirmed its existence because moderators on the official Fallout forums suggested what fans would like to see in the next installment of the game. They said discuss items you'd like to see in future games, gameplay tweaks, quest ideas, things you are hoping that are not in the next game, and so on. If you want to discuss major issues, use a separate topic, such as the discussion about adding multiplayer or co-op play. So the official Bethesda forums highlighted multiplayer and co-op play. Now, this was back last year in May, but still a pretty big deal that they're acknowledging the existence of multiplayer and co-op and wondering if fans want that. And who knows, if a lot of fans are big on the whole co-op spiel. I mean, that's what all games have nowadays. And since they're bringing someone who was very focused on the multiplayer design for both Destiny and Halo Reach, it gets you a little worried as a Fallout fan. Now, breathe a sigh of relief for a second, because I'm going to show you some tweets that might ease a little tension here. Josh Hamrick, the guy who was just joining Bethesda Game Studios, says, Bethesda, it's Bethesda. I'm going to Bethesda Studios and I'm super stoked about it. I hope you'll continue to follow along with me. And then someone asks him, as what, if I may ask him, what he's saying there is, what position are you going to be working at when you're at Bethesda Game Studios? To which Josh responds and says, Senior Systems Designer. Now, what is a senior systems designer? I was looking around and it turns out this can be applied to a lot of different jobs, but then I found the perfect description for it on Gamma Sutra, which is basically a website that is focused entirely on video games. It is about the art and business of video games. That's their slogan. So I feel they could be trusted. Now, I am using an Activision job posting, but it will give an idea of what he's there for. We just have to kind of translate it, and I'll try to handle that for you guys. So without further ado, let's take a look at this. Activision is looking for a senior systems designer to join Activision's central design group to help take our game's system design to the next level. The senior systems designer is responsible for driving the quality of systems design across all ATVI projects, with a special focus on Call of Duty and Skylanders. Anyways, working closely with the development teams, central design, central analytics, and production management, they will review and provide feedback on in-progress system designs, suggest meaningful changes or improvements to existing systems, or personally own system creation under the guidance of team leads. So what I get from this here is that they're bringing him in for his experience mainly. Like I said, he was at Bungie for 6 years. That's a lot of time. This isn't just a willy-nilly, signing. This is pretty big because they're getting a very experienced and talented member to join their team. But for what? Like I said, one of the things that they mentioned is to review and provide feedback on in-progress system designs. Could this in-progress system design be some type of multiplayer mechanic in the game? Because he would know quite a bit about multiplayer design. I'm not saying that, Destiny and Halo Reach are the bee's knees, but they're definitely big multiplayer games that have quite a huge following to them. So could he perhaps be brought in for his expertise on multiplayer? The reason why I say this is because, once again, co-op has been a big thing for a lot of games, and even gamers in general want co-op in Fallout for, God knows what reason. Don't get me wrong, I'm not on that side of the page, honestly, but a lot of people do really want co-op in Fallout, so maybe he was brought in for a additional co-op player mechanic and how you can improve it. But it also says to suggest meaningful changes or improvements to existing systems. So perhaps he's just brought in to help alter levels and whatnot, you know, to help make things move smoothly, because although Destiny wasn't a good game mechanically when it came to its quest design and stuff, its world in general was beautifully designed and really made you want to explore and get into the lore, and I feel like that would be something that's helpful for Fallout personally. And he can also create his own stuff in the game under the guidance of team leads, aka like Todd Howard and stuff. So he's in a pretty big position right now, which is why it can worry quite a bit of Fallout fans, but I don't know what to take from it. I mean, I've provided all the information I can. He's going to be a senior system designer. He's not focusing as a gameplay designer mainly here, but with the whole official forum post, that kind of solidifies this thing of bringing a guy from multiplayer games into Bethesda Game Studios, does it not? But let's stay optimistic here, folks, because from the same website, Video Games 24/7, Pete Hines did insist that single player games should stay single player if it's not necessary to add a multiplayer mechanic. Fallout is definitely one of those games that doesn't need a multiplayer mechanic. If you ask me, the only multiplayer mechanic I could see being in a Fallout game that could work is maybe like a hub area that you could go to outside of the game map that maybe allows you to interact with other gamers in a way where you can like trade resources and stuff to bring back to your settlement or your faction or whatever. Kind of like in the way of it wasn't in the game, but The Last of Us, where like as you collect resources in the game, you help your survivors, kind of like that. I could kind of see something along those lines, but that doesn't seem necessary. Same thing with co-op. It doesn't seem necessary. I'd rather have the resources and the assets be focused on a better single player experience. Alchest Breach made a fantastic point in the podcast saying that the single player Bethesda games are buggy enough. Imagine if there was multiplayer. I mean, we can already see where this is going, but hopefully this guy was just brought in for his expertise. He's a very talented man, obviously. He knows what he's doing, and I'm glad to have him on the Bethesda squad. But, you know, who knows? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. This is a pretty big Fallout 4 news update. Be sure to share this with the Fallout lovers. Let them know what you think. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Other than that, my Fallout lovers, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.